Okay, superb guys. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, Saturday evening edition of our live session. And today we are going to discuss something very interesting topic, which is about going deeper into the process capability analysis. And today I'm going to go deeper into the formulae and manual calculation of it. Okay, because every time whenever we do process capability analysis, that is through Minitab. So we feed the data, put the data in, click the button, and Minitab gives us the boom. Minitab gives us the Z value. But now, how this Z value at the back end is calculated, and lot of things what we do not understand. Okay, those things also we are going to discuss today. All right. So, for the new members, by the way, it's going to be a little kind of challenging, but don't worry. Keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, and just go with the flow. I will make it super easy. I will make it super simple. Okay, I'll explain you with a very simple examples and with simple formulae. Okay, and just follow the formula in simple mathematical formula with your calculator. Will do this manually. All right. So before we begin, any new person in the room, just type me in the chat box. If you are attending the session first time, just type me in the chat box. Let's welcome them in the community first, and then I will start the session. Anybody like this? कोई है जो कि बहुत ही I would say first time attending? Nobody? I think, yeah, generally we have the new members on Monday, but today I'm expecting at least 2 to 3 weeks senior people. Okay, super, very nice. So what we'll do directly, we will first do the Minitab exercise. All right, but before that, let me just quickly scribble something on my on my whiteboard. Okay, let me just quickly. So the today's topic, what we are going to discuss, is all about process capability analysis calculation, basically. Okay. So process capability. What is process capability? Process capability is, in a simple term, so process capability calculations we will see. Okay, and today is going to be a little different. Today is going to be a little deeper today, because a lot of things we overlook when we do the Minitab calculation. I'll show you that. Second, I'll just have to start sharing. Okay, yeah. Once I share with you that, then you will realize that yes, it makes sense. Okay. Now, what is process capability? The first one is when I say, it's very simple, the ability of the process to satisfy a requirement of the customer. Write this down. Write this statement in your notepad. Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the customer. It's called process capability. So I repeat again, for the new members, the seniors have heard about this statement million times, but still just write this down, because I want that to be, going into your subconscious mind. Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the customer. So when I say a Six Sigma process, this number 6 basically defines this process capability. Understand it? This is what we are talking about. Process capability here. When I say a 5 sigma process, which is less capable process than 6 sigma, when I say 4 sigma process, which is even lesser capable process. Okay, so we do the simple calculation in our Minitab software and calculate it. But now today we are going to go beyond that. We are going to understand each and every number which is given in that analysis. Okay, so let's jump into this. I am just sharing with you our Minitab file, which generally we have done so many times. Okay, I'm just sharing that file with you guys. So everybody just check out in your chat. There is a file, Minitab file I've just sent. I'm just sharing it once again. This is a common file which we use for our green belt and the black belt hackathon as well. Okay, the same file, because I just want to show you how much information, how much calculation we miss out, which we should be actually knowing that calculation. Okay, once you have downloaded this file, just type done in the chat box. So people who have Minitab already installed, they can only download. Okay, if you are traveling, if you don't have the Minitab software, etc., it's okay. Just observe what we are doing here. Okay, just observe what we are doing, and just follow the recording later and just see this. Okay. Now, by the way, I just need one. What do you say? Volunteer today. The volunteer is for whatever formula I will be writing. No. All right. Whatever formula I'll be writing. So those formulae maybe somebody can take down and make a document and just send it across to everybody. Okay. That is something. So who can be the volunteer? Just type me in the chat box. Just make a simple or whatever I'm scribbling. You can take a screenshot. Yeah, you can. Multiple people can do it. Okay. And after the session is over, you can just share that in the chat itself so that other people also will download it. Clear? Yes. Have you opened this? Super, super. Sanjeeva Rajanji, thank you very much for volunteering for this. Okay. Yes. Have you opened this file? Just give me yes in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Anybody who is still waiting, I'm just waiting for that. Okay. And this file, why I've taken the same file because this file we have used multiple times. Okay. In our green belt, black belt, the hackathon also, we use this file. So people are very well versed with this file. That's why I've taken the same file so that they can go deeper into that. Okay. Chalo. So what is this actually? This is about, the chocolate weight data. Now, is this data continuous or discrete? Type in the chat box. Is this data continuous or discrete? Everybody. Okay, I've not shared my screen, is it? Just a second. Now I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, here we go. So it is the chocolate weight data which is coming up. So is it continuous or discrete? Everybody type in the chat box. Especially the new people in the room. This data, I'm talking about this data. Column number 1. C1 is column number 1, which is 42.1. So weight, right? Weight. Yes, it's a continuous data. So Mukesh, it is not discrete, it is continuous. Just make a correction over there. Okay. What is continuous? The data which can be measured on the continuous scale, it's called continuous data. And the data which is counted, it's called the discrete data. So the difference is the height, weight, what you can say, speed, temperature, pressure. You can measure them on a continuous scale, and that is called continuous data. On the other side, if you have discrete, for example, pass, fail, go, no go, how many people in the room right now, all these kinds of data are called as discrete data. So in this case, it is continuous data. Okay. Now, when it is continuous data, we find out the process capability with this. Now, understand this. First, understand the data. Okay. So total data points are 120. Can you see this? Total data points are 120. Okay, everybody has got 120 data points. Yes. Now, in this 120 data points, there is a second column called sample. Now, what is this sample column? Try to understand this. The sample column is sample 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It is 10 times. Against 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 10 times. Again, 3, 3, 10 times, 4, 4, 10 times, etc. If you see, there are 12 samples have been taken. Now, imagine there is a production of chocolate is going on. There is a conveyor belt which is, coming out from the factory. And you are taking 10 chocolates for your calculation of your quality checking. So for every time you are taking 10 samples. So you have taken 12 such samples. In every sample, there are 10 chocolates. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. That's why there are 120 chocolates and there are 12 samples. Every sample, there are 12 chocolates. Clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Everybody, I want everybody to understand. So have you understood the data? डेटा समझ में आ गया आपको? क्लियर है? सुपर. नाउ लेट्स identify what is the process capability. Imagine for this sample we need to have specification limit, right? So upper specification limit and lower specification limit. Let's say upper specification limit is, let's say 46 grams. Write this down, everybody. And lower specification limit is 38 grams. Yeah. Everybody just make a note of this. So we will use this. So I've randomly taken some specification limits. So customer will accept the chocolates between 38 to 46 grams only. Customer will reject beyond 46 and beyond 38. So this is the band of specification. Now we will check what is our process capability over here. Okay. Chalo. So let's go to stat. All the new members also just follow this process. If you have Minitab installed, if you have laptop, desktop in front of you. Okay. How HCL and LCL is calculated. This is not HCL and LCL. This is USL and LSL. Okay, so sorry, UCL or LCL nahi hai. This is USL. See the difference? Let me just quickly. This is USL and LSL. Write this down. It is upper specification limit, and I have randomly taken this number. So I have not decided. I've just randomly taken. But your question is how UCL and LCL are calculated. The formula is X bar plus 3 times standard deviation, and LCL formula is X bar minus 3 times standard deviation. This is for the control limit. C for control. Here we are not talking about control limits. Here we are talking about what? Specification limit. This is the difference between these two. Clear? Yeah? Super. चलिए. So आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's go to stat, quality tools, capability analysis, normal. Everybody just follow this procedure. Stat, quality tools, capability analysis, normal. Everybody just follow this. First we'll make it, and then we will identify each and every aspect of it and we'll manually calculate it. Manually. आज हम लोग manually calculate करेंगे. Okay? बहुत मजा आने वाला है आज. Everybody done with this? Normal में आगे, normal. Stat, quality tools, capability analysis, normal. This window will pop up. Have you received this window? Just type yes. Very good. So in the single column, anybody behind, let me know. I will wait. Okay. I repeat once again, go to stat, quality tools, capability analysis, normal. This is the flow. Stat, quality tools, capability analysis, normal. Once you click here, this window will appear. Now in single column, select chocolate weight, double click on chocolate weight in grams, because that's where the process capability analysis we have to do. And the subgroup size, select the sample, double click on sample. So in the single column, it's a chocolate weight column, and subgroup size is your sample. Okay. Subgroup is the group of the sample we are taking. That is called subgroup. Okay. Now, what is lower specification limit? We have decided to be 38, and upper specification limit we have decided as 46. So we have taken randomly. Okay. You can take any, so because I know that average is around 42. So I've just taken this randomly. You can change that as well. But as of now, let's do it together. So just keep 38 and 46 for our simple calculation. Everybody done that? Now go to option. Go to option. And there is a small change you need to do is, which is called, instead of CP, just select benchmark Z. Just select benchmark Z. Just click on that. Say OK and say OK. Everybody's got this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Anybody not got this? Anybody who not understood this? Not understood the flow? How we have arrived to this graph? अगर आपको flow समझ में नहीं आया तो मैं आपको बताता हूं. All right? Clear? Very good. Super. You have done a fantastic job. Now, as a Lean Six Sigma practitioner, okay, we just have to feed the data, and this is your current process capability. Now, there are multiple ways, but you can select this is my current process capability. My Z bench is 2.21. That means my process is 2.21 sigma process. Like we said, a 4 sigma, 5 sigma, 6 sigma. Now this process is 2.21 sigma process. Okay, this is a process capability. But now, today, what we are going to do is, we are going to go for, now tell me, are you aware of each and every data point reflecting on this graph? Are you aware of each and every data point? And how it is calculated? What is the formula? Are you aware of this? Yes or no? Everybody. Just type yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, सिर्फ दोनों ही लोगों को नहीं पता है, बाकी सबको पता है. Okay, 3 लोगों को नहीं पता है. अच्छा, सबको ही नहीं पता है. Very good. Fantastic. So partially you know, partially you don't know. Okay, because this exercise in green belt, in black belt, we do it million times. Okay, we do billion times. But now let's go deeper. Now, as a practitioner, you should know this much. That is good enough. But if you want to become deep, if you want to really become expert in the field, you should know everything in this entire graph. Okay. So are you ready to explore what are each and every element of this? It will be a little tiresome today. It will be a little tiresome. It will seem like, sir, हमें सिर्फ सॉफ्टवेयर में डेटा फीड करके आंसर निकालना, दैट्स इट. ओके, फॉर्मूला का चक्कर नहीं चाहिए. Now that is also okay for me. I'm absolutely okay. But at least once you should understand. That's what I believe. Okay. Once you become black belt, master black belt, at least you should understand what is going at the back end of in the software. Okay. That's why I'm just opening up this. That's why I'm giving you all the process capability calculations today. Clear hai? Okay. एक बार हमें understand. Do you have to remember all the formulae? Even I don't remember all the formulae. First understand करिए और बाद में भूल जाइए. ठीक है? चलो. So let's go one by one over here. It's very, very important. Just चलो one by one जाते हैं. Okay, so let's come to the process data over here. Now, let's come to this on the left-hand side of mine. Okay. Can you just put it on the right-hand side, please? The entire screen. This one. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, let's focus on the left-hand side. What is LSL and USL? You know that, right? LSL, USL, everybody knows. We have put LSL, USL 38 and 48. Target we haven't put, that's why it is showing the star. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Okay. What is sample mean? What is sample mean का मतलब क्या है? What does it indicate? Sample mean. What is sample mean? Type in the chat box. Yes, it's simple average. The simple average, arithmetic average of the entire data set is sample mean. This 120 data points are the sample. Okay. Uska average hai 42.10. That means out of 140, average of this 120 data points, 120 chocolates is 42.10 gram average weight. Okay. N is equal to number of samples 120. Okay. And this is standard deviation overall and within. Now, the question is, what is overall and what is within? Just try to understand this. Okay. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, just try to understand this. As I mentioned to you earlier, this entire data set, okay, is made up of 12 samples. Target will be defined by, yeah, so we can put the target. I'll show you the target kaise nikalte hai. We will only show you the target, but right now we have just put USL and LSL, that's it. Okay. Now, so I was talking about the this data. So this data is, imagine this is, let's say, 120 data points, and which is made up of 12 different samples. Okay, so this sample number 1, sample number 2, sample number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Yeah, so there are 12 samples we have taken. So every sample, understand this, every sample, there is a variation, yes or no? Every sample of 10, there will be within variation, yes or no? Just keep it here a little, maybe you can just reduce a little. Everybody, have you understood my question? Within the 10 का sample, 10 chocolates मैंने लिए, उसमें भी इस variation होगा, yes or no? Just give me yes or no in the chat box. Clear है? Okay. Now, if I take, so how do we measure the variation? Standard deviation, sigma, correct? So this is sigma 1, this is sigma 2, this is sigma 3, this is sigma 4, sigma 5. Every sample will have standard deviation, correct? Sigma 6. If I take all the samples and take average of that, that is called the sigma standard deviation within. Understand this? Within matlab, within the group, this subgroup है ना 10-10 के. Within that group, if I take the standard deviation and take the average of that, that is called standard deviation within. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in chat box. Standard deviation within समझ में आया? Just type yes in chat box. Everybody. Clear है? Super clear? Yes? Okay. Now coming back to standard deviation, average of sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, exactly sigma 12 तक इसका मैं standard deviation निकालूंगा. Sigma meaning standard deviation, correct? So and सभी sigma का मैं average निकालूंगा. That is my within. I will give you the formula. मैं formula आपको लिख के दूंगा. Okay, somebody document it, but I will write down the formula for you. And now imagine, forget about all the samples, 10 का group. If I mix all the 120 chocolates together, if I mix all the 120 chocolates together, okay, forget about all these small ones. So just I have taken all the 120 chocolates together. And I have taken the standard deviation of that. That is called standard deviation overall. And this is called this one. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Now there is no sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4, all 120 chocolates together. And I have taken standard deviation of that. That is called standard deviation overall. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. समझ में आ गया ये? Any doubt in this? किसी को डाउट है? Okay, डाउट ना होने के दो रीजन होते हैं. Always say this, right? One is you have understood everything. Second is you have not understood anything. In both these cases, you will not ask the doubts. Okay, so I hope it is the first case, right? You have understood everything till now. I will give you the formula. Clear? All clear? Just give me yes. Chalo, theek hai. So I am assuming that you guys are understanding this. Okay. So what we are doing today, this is the regular process capability analysis with Minitab we are doing. But today we are going deeper to understand and decode the formula behind it. तो formula है ये. अभी मैं formula आपको लिख के देता हूं one by one. आप उसको लिख लीजिए and preserve करिए. Somebody has to volunteer for this because then you can. So what you can do is you can take the screenshot of this and just make one by one document. Okay, just below one by one, and then send it in the group itself, in this group itself, so that below the recording I will keep that document. Okay, so the first formula, write this down. Okay, so I'm just writing the simple standard deviation overall का formula ये है. Standard deviation overall. What is the formula for this? Formula for this is अपना standard deviation normal formula, वही formula है ये, which is summation of xi minus x bar raised to square divided by n minus 1. This is overall. So what is xi? Where xi is individual data point. Xi meaning individual data point. What is x bar? It is the average. Simple arithmetic average. And what is n? N is equal to number of data points. Number of data points. Clear? Very simple. So xi is the individual data point, each and every sample minus the standard deviation. What is the difference between these two? Ka square divided by n minus 1, which is number of data. So n is equal to 120. In this case, n is equal to 120. Which is equal to 120 in this case, okay? Clear, everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. Just give me yes. Okay, done. Now let's go to standard deviation within. ये थोड़ा सा formula थोड़ा सा बड़ा है, but I will just explain it to you. Okay. The formula is this. Similar to this, xij minus xj bar raised to square. This is summation, okay? Divided by n minus 1 whole divided by k. Write this down. Okay, ये यहाँ तक है, नीचे तक है. Okay. Now what is this? What is xij? xij क्या है? xij is individual data point. Individual data point in each subgroup. In each EACH, each subgroup. Okay. And xj bar क्या है? xj bar वो subgroup का average है. Okay. So it is average of the subgroup. Write this down. आप समझ जाओगे उसको. N is equal to number of data in the group. Subgroup. In this case, every data point, n is equal to 10 in this case, okay? So which is equal to 10. And what is k? K is equal to number of groups, basically. Number of subgroup, which is 12. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Any doubt in this formula? It's very simple. If you observe the formula, it is xij, which is ith data point in the J group. Okay. So number of J groups are there. So xj bar is nothing but the average of that subgroup. Here a very simple formula. Okay. Have you taken a screenshot of this? Screenshot ले लो इसका. Just take a screenshot of this. If I let's wait for this. Let me just close myself. Okay. Yeah, now you can take. Have you taken the screenshot? Okay, who is making the document of this? All the formula document कौन बना रहा है? एक बार Just give me me in the chat box. Okay. So this is one screenshot. Similarly, I want multiple screenshots to be taken, and you can compile in one document and give it to give it later. Okay. Yeah, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And I would recommend multiple people should do it so that at least one will be better. Okay. Done. Shall we go ahead? Why it is n minus 1 and not n? This is called degree of freedom. Okay, degree of freedom concept कहते हैं इसको. I will explain this degree of freedom form concept in a different, because it will another explain you it will take another 15-20 minutes. It is called degree of freedom. DF कहते हैं उसको. Just make a note of it. DF. n minus 1 is DF. ठीक है. चलो, done. Shall we move ahead? Just give me yes in the chat box. Shall we move ahead? Just give me big yes so that we can go ahead and go to the next part of it. Clear hai? Very good. Chalo. So I'm just opening the software again. Now coming back to this. Okay, so first I have just covered this table. So there are three tables I'm going to cover. Table number 1, table number 2, this table, and this table which is at the bottom, table number 3, PPM वाला table. ठीक है? ये तीन टेबल आज हम लोग कवर करेंगे. तीन टेबल we will cover today. Okay, three tables. So first table is clear. Is it clear? Just type yes in the chat box. And you can calculate it manually as well. But I will not take much time to calculate this manually. ठीक है? Done. So table number 1 clear hai. Everybody just give clear in the chat box. So check all the data points. Have I clear all the data points in clear table number 1? Now let's move to the table number 2. Okay. Now first understand overall and within you have understood, right? So basically overall represents long-term process capability and within represents short-term process capability. Make a note of this. This is very, very important to understand. Okay. Yeah. Sudham ji, it's very simple. आप उसका recording देख लीजिए. We will give you the recording. Okay. Last half an hour का आप recording देख लीजिए. It will be clear to you. ठीक है? Now, table number 2. Table number 2 पे overall capability denotes the long-term process capability, and within process capability shows the short-term process capability. Right? Now, what basically is long-term and short-term? It's very simple. In long-term, if you remember, we have added all the 120 data points when we calculated standard deviation overall. Okay, we added all 120 data points. That is called. So in the long term, there are all extreme values which are calculated. Okay, so in long term, make a note of this here. In the bracket, you can say that extreme values also will be calculated in the long term. Okay, extreme values meaning the highest chocolate weight and the lowest chocolate weight, all of them will be calculated in the long-term process capability. Are you clear? But in the short term, those values may not be calculated. Just try to understand this, huh? Because in the short-term process capability, we are taking the 10 samples. Okay, let me just go back to the data point once again. एक सेकंड में मैं फिर से जा रहा हूं. या ओके, अदरवाइज ये सब निकल जाएगा. एनीवे, शॉर्ट टर्म में क्या है? शॉर्ट टर्म में within that sample only whatever is the variation, okay, that is you are calculating. But in the long term, all the extreme values we are calculating. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Are you clear? Short term process capability में within the 10 samples, within the 10 chocolates, whatever is the highest and the lowest, we are calculating. But within the long term, all the extreme values we have to be calculating. Okay? So there's the difference between short term and the long term process capability. So how do we calculate this? Let's try to understand this. Let's calculate this. First, we will calculate this one. Okay, I will show you all one by one. So first, we will calculate ZLSL, then ZUSL, then ZBench, then PPK, and all these things. Okay, one by one. So ZLSL and ZUSL. So what we'll do, we will actually calculate it as well, calculate with the data as well. Okay, चलो तो मैं पहले यहाँ पे लिख लेता हूं, फॉर्मूला लिख लेता हूं ZLSL का एंड ZUSL का. ठीक है, इसका दोनों का फॉर्मूला हम लोग लेते हैं, बाद में Z बेंच का फॉर्मूला कैलकुलेट करेंगे. So let me go back to this. Have you guys have taken screenshot of this, right? So I don't know whether this can be saved. Okay, this can be saved as well. चलो एक काम करता हूँ ना मैं, स्लाइड 1 मैं भी एक बार ट्राई करता हूँ, स्लाइड 1. चलो, बट आप भी सेव करके रखिए. ठीक है, चलो, so let me remove this. Now I am just explaining you what was that? ZLSL in the overall one. Okay, ZLSL in bracket overall. So what is the formula? The formula is this, is equal to X bar minus LSL divided by standard deviation overall. Okay, and on the other side I am writing ZUSL overall. The formula is USL minus X bar divided by standard deviation overall. Okay, have you taken this? Just make a note of this first. Make a note of this. Just again take a screenshot of this. And now we will calculate it manually. हम लोग मैन्युअली इसको कैलकुलेट करेंगे. ठीक है, एवरीबॉडी पुल आउट योर कैलकुलेटर्स. चलो, कैलकुलेटर्स मैन्युअली करेंगे. पुल आउट योर कैलकुलेटर्स, विल डू इट मैन्युअली राइट नाउ. मजा आएगा आपको, यू विल एंजॉय दिस. एंड एक बार दिमाग की बत्ती जल गई तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि हाउ इट इज कैलकुलेटेड. बेसिकली first we have understood overall or within का difference, right? So overall basically represent the the overall process capability. Now we are calculating the within. Okay, super. You guys are taking the screenshots as well. Okay, very good, amazing. Chalo, so then you can make the document. Okay, later on you can make a document and then you can share this with me. Okay, chalo, so let's calculate the ZLSL with this formula. Okay, calculate the ZLSL with the formula. I'm just going back to the data here. So ZLSL का क्या formula है? Here also I'm just making a note of this. ZLSL overall X bar minus LSL divided by standard deviation overall. Chalo, can you just put the formula quickly? X bar is what? 42.1058 minus LSL is what? 38 divided by what is the standard deviation overall? This is the standard deviation overall, which is 1.64538. Can you just give me the answer in the chat quickly? I want everybody to calculate it once. एक बार पेन लीजिए. Calculate it once actually. Okay. Yes, Samir ji is very fast. He has already calculated. No, Chetan ji, just check the calculation again. I have given you the numbers 42.1058. तो उसका ये या तो कुछ गड़बड़ है उसमें. हाँ, यस 2.4958. नहीं, मिस्टर शर्मा जी आपका भी गलत है फॉर्मूला. एक बार फिर से करिए. आई हैव ऑलरेडी गिवन यू द नंबर्स.
Okay,
40.
just one question, Dinesh.
हाँ जी.
The term, the word is it refers to the capability, right?
Which one?
Because previously in the process data, we will just mention standard deviation overall and within. But
हाँ.
now we are having ZLSL and ZUSL. So
Yes,
the
yes,
Z
yes,
refers
yes,
to
yes, yes.
capability.
Correct, correct, correct. So now we
Okay.
are calculating capability now. This one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Perfect. So the right answer is 2.49535, something like that. Everybody got this answer? Yes. So which is rounded off at 2.50. Okay, वो rounding का effect है ये 2.50. Are you clear, everybody? ZLSL we have calculated 2.49535. Got it? Just type yes in the chat box. Super clear है? Everybody just give me yes. चलो एक बार, if this is clear, then similarly just calculate ZUSL overall. So let me just remove this and let's go to ZUSL overall. The same formula I've already given to you. What is the formula? USL minus X bar divided by standard deviation overall. Okay, what is USL? USL is 46 minus what is X bar? 42.1058 divided by same 1.64538. Can you just calculate it? Give me the answer, please. 2.3667, is it? Super. Everybody got this answer? 2.3667. Everybody do this, okay? किसी ने कर दिया इसलिए आप कैलकुलेशन छोड़ मत देना. Even if it takes time, I am absolutely patient about it. Please do your calculation. Okay? Do your own calculation. It will be helpful. When we learned it, actually हमें ये manual calculation किया करने के लिए बोलते थे. सॉफ्टवेयर में बाद में सिखाया हमको. Okay? So yes. So this is rounded off to 2.37. Clear, everybody? Have you understood this? Just type yes in the chat box. Super clear? So ZLSL and ZUSL. Okay? Now listen to me very carefully. What is this Z bench value then? This is very, very important. Okay? Now there are two ways of looking at it. Okay? Let me remove this first. Everybody with me till now? Yahan tak everybody with me, just type yes in the chat box. Because going ahead, it will be a little, what you can say, interesting. I would say interesting. Clear, everybody with me till now? Very good. Now, what is the Z bench? Now, I can show, I can tell that my process capability. So whichever is lower, okay. See, the Z value, I can show in two ways. Now understand this, very, very important. Z value, I can show in two ways. What are the two ways? I can show the Z value as my Z value equal to minimum of ZLSL and ZUSL. Whatever is the minimum value, that is my Z value. So in this case, what is the minimum value? This is 2.37 is my minimum value. So my Z score is 2.37. So I can declare that my overall Z score is 2.37. Some people do this as well. Clear? Just like CPK value. Remember CPK का formula? The people who know CPK value, CPK क्या है? CPK lower and CPK upper. Whichever is lower value is our CPK value. Yes or no? Similarly, this Z value is Z minimum, LSL minimum and Z USL minimum. Whichever is lower, that becomes our Z score. This is one way of looking at it. Clear hai? Just type yes in the chat box. Super clear? The Z is process capability number. Z is process capability number. When I say 6 sigma, that 6 number is that Z number. Clear? When I say 6 sigma, right? My process is 6 sigma process. That number 6 is a Z number. Okay, very good. Now, Now let's see what is the second way of looking at it. Okay, so I'm just going back. I'm just going back over here. Now let me just save this as well. Oops, there we go. एक minute. Let me try and save that as well. I don't know whether it is. Anyways, guys, please take the screenshot and save this. Okay. I'm not sure whether मेरे system में save हो रहा है because Zoom चालू है तो I'm not getting what is happening at the back end. Okay. तो आप make sure करिए कि ये save हो रहा है. Now let me just go to the first formula which I just explained you. So how do we calculate the Z overall? Okay. Z overall calculate करने के लिए one formula is Z, which is Z is equal to minimum of Z LSL and Z USL. Okay. So this is one formula. There is second formula as well. And that is very interesting. So we can say the Z score, Z overall score, okay? Or the Z bench. Now this Z bench, there is another formula which is called Z bench. This formula is, write this down, 1 minus, okay, ppm total divided by 1 million. Write this down. No, इसको Z bench नहीं बोलेंगे, इसको Z score ही बोलेंगे. First, not Z bench. This is Z score. इसको Z score ही करिए. This is one way of doing this, and this is a second way of doing this. Okay. This is Z score is equal to 1 minus ppm total divided by. So whatever will be the answer. Okay. Whatever will be this answer, then we will go to the standard Z table. And calculate the Z bench. Okay, how do we do that? Let's calculate this. Okay, ppm total divided by 1 million. 1 minus, huh? Okay, so let's do this formula calculation. I'll go back once again to this formula. So what is our formula here? 1 minus ppm total. Now, how do we get ppm total divided by 1 million, which is 10 lakhs? So ppm total कहाँ पे मिलेगा? You can see here, यहाँ पे. Can you see this number, guys? This is our ppm total. Okay, this ppm total. Now, this is not observer, this one. Now, because we are calculating the overall one, this one, not this one, this one, 15,264. Okay, so it is 15,264. I'm just rounding off just for your understanding. Okay. Can you just calculate this? Give me the answer quickly. 1 minus 15,264 divided by 1 million. उसका calculation करिए. Give me the answer in the chat quickly. 15,264. कहां से आया मुझे? 0.98, is it? So is it the answer of 1 minus this, or this is the answer of only this bracket? One minus का पूरा आंसर है, right? Overall answer. Okay. So 9847. Okay. So I'm just taking this 0.9847. Okay. Now let's do something interesting here. I am just giving you yeah, something called Z table. Everybody just download this Z table with you. थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग करते हैं, मैन्युअली कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है हम लोग समझ में आएगा हमें. $0.9847, right? Everybody download it. Once it is downloaded, let me know in the chat box. Fantastic. Super. So it looks something like this. Open the Z table. Now this is area under curve. Okay. This is cumulative distribution. Now let's not get into the details of this, but where do we look at this? Just scroll down to the second page. Now our value is what? Let's say 0.9847. See, I have not calculated it. I'm just taking the value which was there in the chat box. Okay. So now just observe here, which is the closest value over here. Okay. Can you see this is the closest value? I don't know whether you guys can actually see this. Shall I increase this? I don't know whether I can increase this. If you have received it, just type yes in the chat box. हाँ, मैं इसको बड़ा कर सकता हूँ. Yes, yes, yes. हाँ, थोड़ा बड़ा कर सकता हूँ. Okay, so 984, this one. Visible है? So this one, right? 9846, 0.9846. Can you see this value? Just see on the left hand side, 2.1. And if you scroll up, 2.16, this one. थोड़ा सा कम करता हूं ताकि आपको समझ में आएगा what I'm talking about here. So this is the nearest value. This is the nearest value. So if I go on the left hand side, it is 2.1, this one, this row, okay? And if I go on the top, this is 0.6. So this is actually 2.16 sigma process. 2.16. Okay, because decimal के बाद 1 है ना यहाँ पे. So it will be 2.16. Clear everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. And this is called a Z bench value. How many of you got this? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai? Super clear?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the Z score and Z bench are same or different? Because the method.
Correct. So that's what I'm explaining. So let me just go back to this. Yeah. So ये समझ में आया this calculation? Have you understood this? So we have calculated with this formula 1 minus ppm total divided by 1 million. And with the formula, we got one Z score, that Z value basically. We went to this and then we calculated a Z bench value. Okay. Now, see, there are two ways. Few people, let me just delete this first. Now, as I mentioned earlier, few people showcase their process capability as this Z overall, the first one on the left hand side, the first option. Few people showcase their Z bench as their process capability. And there are what I can say, people say this method is right. Some people say, no, this method is right. Okay. Software people, what they say, we have given you both the formulae. Okay. You decide. Now for us, in the measure phase, now try to understand, in the DMAC framework, in the measure phase, if we are following this method, then in the control phase, after improvement also, we have to follow this method. In the measure phase, if we are following the Z-bench method, then after improvement also, we have to follow the Z-bench method. Are you clear with this? Just like yes in the chat box. Yeah, मैं PPM पे आता हूँ, प्रसन्ना जी. Are you clear with this? Both methods are right methods. Okay. Now it is your choice. If you are taking this Z1 minimum of Z LSL and Z USL, that is also okay, but you have to be consistent with that after improvement as well. If you are showing the Z bench, you have to be consistent after the improvement as well. Okay, I'm coming to PPM right now. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Super clear. Both options are available with you, given to you by the software. Okay, I'll show you once again. Let me. So here, let's come back to our this one. So we are talking about this table, right? Table number 2, this one. Okay. So what I say, the first option is whatever is the lowest value of these two. Okay, minimum of ZLSL and ZUSL can be your Z score, or you can showcase Z bench as your process capability. So either this or this can be your process capability. Clear? But once you decide this, you need to be consistent through this project. Okay, एक बार Z bench दिखा दो, बाद में आपने ZLSL दिखा दिया, that will not be comparing apple to apple. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Both these options are available for you. Clear? Just type yes. Sadanand ji, are you clear with this? So both our options are available. Either you showcase whatever the minimum value. Okay, the process is either 2.1 exactly. Perfect. Amruta ji, absolutely right. You have perfectly hit the nail. So 2.37 भी आप दिखा सकते हो या फिर 2.16 भी कर सकते हो, but you have to be consistent. After improvement, once you reduce the variation, okay, let's say you decided Z bench मुझे दिखाना है, so later also you show the Z bench. So 2.16 you need to compare Z bench to Z bench before and after, or the whatever is the second one option. Okay, before and after. Clear? Amazing. Super. Clear hai? The same formula is applicable just below. In within maybe same formula applicable hai. ZUSL, ZLSL. Only thing is that instead of standard deviation overall, we are taking standard deviation within in the formula. That's it. Instead of standard deviation overall in the formula, we take the standard deviation within in the formula. Are you clear? The same calculation happens with the ZLSL, ZUSL in the within and the Z bench in the within. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear hai ye? Same. I'm talking about this one. Within capability. This one. Okay? This table. The same formula is applicable. Only thing is that in the denominator, standard deviation will be within instead of standard deviation overall. Okay? Chalo. Now let's move on to PPK and CPK formula. So, yeah, let me just clear this up. And let me go to CPK. Now this one, I'm talking about PPK and CPK. So PPK and CPK also is another way of showing this. So I'm showing you that as well. Then I will go to the PPM formula. Okay. So I hope you guys have taken the screenshot of this. Now let me just remove this. Okay. एंड पीपीके और सीपीके का भी फॉर्मूला मैं देता हूं। यस, वेरी गुड। चलो, सो ऐसे दो ये बनाइए। सो पीपीके इज फॉर ओवरऑल, तो ओवरऑल के लिए है पीपीके। सो ओवरऑल इज नथिंग बट द लॉन्ग टर्म। ओके, so I'll just make a slit over here, and this is within, which is nothing but a short term. Okay, short term. So overall में इसको कहते हैं PPK. The formula is this. Write this down. Minimum of X bar minus LSL divided by 3 into overall standard deviation. 3 into standard deviation overall. Okay. And USL minus X bar, the denominator remains exactly same, 3 into standard deviation overall. Bracket close. On the other side, write down CPK formula exactly similar to this. Minimum of X bar minus LSL. Only difference is, what is the only difference? Instead of standard deviation overall, it will be standard deviation within. Baki formula same hai. Are you understanding this? Within. Clear? And on the other side, same. USL minus H bar divided by 3 into standard deviation within. And bracket complete. Are you clear with this? Just type yes in the chat box. Clear है? PPK का calculation. Okay, if you want to do it, एक का calculation करके देखते हैं PPK या CPK का. ठीक है? If you want to do it, you can do it. Below that, और एक फॉर्मूला लिख के रखिए जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ओके, मैं आपको बताता हूं एक फॉर्मूला, जस्ट लिख के रखिए जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ओके, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज CPM. देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड CPM भी आएगा. In project development time, we have to calculate CPK, and production time, we have to calculate PPK. No, see, PPK is a long term. CPK is a short term. For example, short term meaning, let's say you are calculating for 1 day or 1 week data. It is called short term. Long term meaning, let's say you have taken 1 year data. Okay, that is called a long term process capability. That will be PPK process capability. Okay, that's the only difference. You remember the the subgroup samples, the chote samples, and then the overall, all the 120 chocolates together. That's the difference. Okay. Yes, very good. Now there is another formula है जिसका नाम है CPM. Write this down. मैं आपको explain करता हूँ. पहले formula लिख लेते हैं. CPM. CPM. The formula is USL minus LSL divided by 6 into square root of sigma overall, which is standard deviation overall का square plus, this is very interesting, huh? In bracket x bar minus t raised to square write this down, I will explain you. Everybody, have you written this formula? T is nothing but the target which we have not spoken yet. T is nothing but a target. Six into overall standard deviation square plus x bar minus t raised to square, and t is actually the target value. Here we have not given the target value, but if you have given it, then CPM will be calculated. This is also sometimes people calculate. Take a screenshot of this and just give yes in the chat box. Just take a screenshot of this. Yeah, CPM is process capability metrics, basically. Process capability metrics, considering the target into consideration. Take a screenshot of this and preserve this. Hope at least somebody is preserving this, right? Just take a screenshot, then we will collate this, all these formulae. ठीक है ना? एक बार screenshot लेके रखिए. See, it will look like very heavy today, but don't worry. एक बार screenshot लेके रखिए, ठीक है? Now I will go back to this. Now this is how the PPK value and the CPK value, if you put the formula into this, the data into formula, you will get this PPK value and CPK value. Okay. And what is the CPM? It is not showing. Why it is not showing? Let me show you this. Let's go back to this. Edit last dialog box. Can you go back to edit last dialog box? If I go back to edit last dialog box, I will come back to this data. Okay. I go to estimate. No, I go to option. Go back to the option. And here on the top, you can see target is missing. So target here, let's put 42. Let's put 42 as a target. Okay. Yes. So let's put 42 as a target and click OK and click OK. Wow. Now all the other values are exactly equal, but now there is CPM calculation also is done, which is 0.81. How many of you got it? Just type got it in the chat box. So this is just like PPK and CPK. CPM now CPK, PPK only considers the USL and LSL. Okay, CPK and PPK only considers USL and LSL, while CPM also considers target value also. Okay, ये जो target value हमने डाला ना, तो calculation में उन्होंने calculation किया. Because we didn't have this target value, there was no CPM value calculated. The moment we put this target value, the CPM is calculated. Okay. Yeah, one more time. You can go back here. Okay. Go to option. And here on the top, left hand side top, you can see target. Just put 42 here. So you can put any target value. Just as of now, we have put 42. So 42 grams should be the target value of this chocolate. Here. And then say OK. And then say OK, you will get this CPM value. Clear hai? So table number 2 clear? Just type yes in the chat box. Table number 2 clear hai? Give me yes. हाँ जी, CPK, yes, PPK will be the minimum of PPK and जो जिसका जो छोटा है ना उसमें. So you can see 0.7889, correct, Samir ji? So that's why it is showing 0.79 as your PPK. You have calculated it perfectly. Super. Fantastic job done. So whichever is the minimum value. So right now it is 0.7889, which is rounded off to 0.79. And CPK ka calculation hai, if you see, the minimum is 0.80. So that's why they have taken CPK is 0.80. Clear hai? या CP का फॉर्मूला क्या है? USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation. Okay, if you are taking CP, it will be 6 times standard deviation within. And if you take PP, it will be USL and LSL 6 times standard deviation of overall. या सैंपल साइज का फॉर्मूला अलग है. रंजन जी, सैंपल साइज का फॉर्मूला अलग है. द सिंपल थंब रूल इज रूट स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ n. If you have 2000 data points, just take a square root of 2000. That will be the ideal sample size. Okay, of course, every other formula, other industry wise also there are sample this one. Okay, and plus sample size also, it depends on what power you want to generate or what power you want, what accuracy you want. That also determines sample size. But the thumb rule is square root of n. Square root of 2000 is your sample size. Simple. Okay. चलो, आर यू क्लियर यहां तक? तो टेबल नंबर 1, टेबल नंबर 2 क्लियर है? जस्ट गिव मी यस. शैल वी गो टू टेबल नंबर 3, which is PPM? Okay, now what is PPM? So first write down the formulae. So let me just save this and remove this. I hope you have taken the screenshot of this. Okay. Yeah, now let's first write down the formula for PPM. And then we'll calculate it. Okay. So what is the PPM? Formula of PPM is, simple formula of PPM is nothing but, it is part per million. Write this down. It is parts per million. The formula is actual defectives divided by total units into 1 million. Okay. It is called PPM. So here you will see, just take this formula here as well. PPM ऐसे आपको दिखेगा. मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. जस्ट फॉर्मूला लिख लीजिए इसका. 1 minus, this is finding. Okay, this is called finding Z LSL bracket close into 1 million and PPM USL formula remains the same. 1 minus 5. This is 5. This is called 5. Z USL bracket close into 1 million. एक फॉर्मूला करके देखते हैं इसका. Okay. Now, have you taken this formula down? Just type yes in the chat box. एक बार करके देखते हैं, then we will calculate it once before we close the session. Okay. Have you taken a screenshot of this? Just take the screenshot. Okay, done. Chalo, let's go back to our simple data. Now let's understand this. Now I'm talking about the table number 3 at the bottom, PPM wala table, performance wala table. Okay. So PPM. Now let's understand the PPM. What is PPM? PPM is also called as DPPM, which is called defective parts per million. The formula was total defective, okay, divided by total number of units, or you can say number of units into 1 million. This 10 raised to 6. 10 raised to 6 is equal to 1 million. Okay. So imagine in this data set, USL and LSL, okay, in the lower side, below 38, there is nothing. Okay, there is not a single data point, maybe below 38. Okay, so right now it is showing that below LSL there is 0 defect, 0 rejection below LSL. That's why it is showing 0. Okay, now let's calculate PPM USL. That means what? See, like this. ऐसा है ना data. So LSL के नीचे कुछ भी नहीं है, not a single data point. But USL के ऊपर 2 chocolates are beyond the USL. That means USL is what? 46, correct? So 46 के about 2 chocolates है. So let's put the formula 2 divided by 120 into 1 million. Can you just calculate this? 2 chocolates out of 120 are above 46 grams weight. Can you just calculate this and type in the chat box? Can you just calculate this and type in the chat box? 16666. And this is exactly what it's showing over here. Are you understanding? 166, so 16,666. That means it's very simple. If 2 chocolates out of 120 are defective, so in 1 million, how many chocolates will be defective? Are you clear? That is called PPM value. So what is PPM total? PPM total is nothing but how many chocolates on the lower side defective and how many chocolates on the upper side defective. So lower side, there is 0 defective, upper side 16,666. So if you add them up, you will get PPM total like this. Clear? Everybody got this? Just type yes in the chat box. And this was the value we actually used in the Z bench. Now you remember Z bench ka formula 1 minus PPM total divided by 1 million. Formula, remember? This is the value we took. Yeah, Ashwini, actually, out of 46 chocolates, no, we actually counted how many chocolates are out beyond 46 grams. Okay. Clear hai? Super clear. Just type yes in the chat box. We took, yes, you are right. See, because we have taken overall and within. So overall ke liye we have taken this and within ke liye we have taken this. You are right, absolutely right. Sunil ji, thank you very much for this correction. So we did not take 16666, but we have taken 15264 because we want to calculate overall Z bench. And then whenever we wanted to calculate the within Z bench, then we took 13626. Clear? हाँ, so 2 chocolate beyond UCL. Okay, let's go back to the data. Okay, let me just go back to so the question is, how did you find out 2 chocolate beyond this? Okay. So let me just go back to this. So 2 chocolates beyond this कैसे पता चला हमें? If we go back to the data, हमारा जो डेटा है ये डेटा, इसमें if you see, you'll find out there will be 2 chocolates out of this 120 data points which are beyond 46 grams. Maybe this one. This one is one chocolate. If you scroll it down, you will find another one. This one. Can you find out? These are the 2 chocolates which are going beyond 46, which is our what you can say upper specification limit. Okay, that's why 2 chocolate. Clear hai? Yeah. Yes. Now I'm coming back to that. Clear? Now coming back to this, the same data point. Going back to the yes. Now let's go back to the second one. Overall का क्या है? तो overall का क्या फॉर्मूला दिया था मैंने? See this formula. यहां पे आपको क्या करना है? यहां पे आपको क्या करना है ना? ये जो फॉर्मूला है, ये दिस वन, इसमें आपको ZLSL ओवरऑल को फाइंड आउट करना है. तो व्हाट इज ZLSL ओवरऑल? टाइप इन चैट बॉक्स. ZLSL ओवरऑल क्या है? ओवरऑल में ZLSL क्या है? टाइप इन चैट बॉक्स क्विकली. ZLSL ओवरऑल टाइप इन चैट बॉक्स. गो बैक टू द डेटा. कहां पे पता चलेगा हमें? यहां पे ZLSL ओवरऑल 2.50. करेक्ट. ZLSL ओवरऑल 2.50 है. ठीक है, करेक्ट. नाउ गो बैक टू द डेटा. गो बैक टू अवर Z टेबल. Z टेबल पे जाओ फिर से एक बार. It was 2.50. Correct, everybody? Now if you open the Z table, come to the second page. Okay, if you see here 2.5 कहां पे है? यहां पे. Can you see here? I'm just marking it over here. Okay, 2.50. Can you see this value? 0.9938. Write this down. 0.9938. Have you got this value? The value जिसका 2.50 है. So the value is 9938. Now what is this? Understand this. इसका सिंपल मतलब क्या है? इसका सिंपल मतलब ये है कि जो फॉर्मूला है, इसका सिंपल मतलब ये है कि when we have 2.5 sigma process, our 99.38% data comes within the specification limit and 0. Okay, इसका माइनस करके 1 minus 0.9938 मतलब क्या है? इसका क्या आंसर होगा? 0.0062. 0.0062% data will be outside of the specification limit when your process is 2.5 sigma. Anyways, let's put it in the formula. इसका फॉर्मूला में डालो. फॉर्मूला क्या था हमारा? फॉर्मूला क्या था? 1 minus, now this value is 0.9938 into 1 million. Can you just calculate it? So which is 0.0062 into 1 million into 10 raised to 6. Can you just calculate it? 6200, right? Now go back to that data. So you will find it is 6291, which is expected overall. Can you see ppm 6291? It is actually software has calculated with all the decimals. Okay, it has not rounded off it. So it is precisely 6291. Are you understanding? So overall, we have got 6200. Just type yes in the chat box. ठीक है, so ppm LSL का फॉर्मूला डाला है. Same if you calculate ppm USL, you will find out 8973. फॉर्मूला में डाल के देखो. क्लियर है? तो सिमिलरली एक्सपेक्टेड विद इन का भी आप कर सकते हो, ओवरऑल का भी कैलकुलेशन कर सकते हो. सो व्हाट इज पीपीएम टोटल? पीपीएम टोटल इज पीपीएम एलएसएल एंड पीपीएम यूएसएल. सो पीपीएम टोटल क्या होता है? वेरी सिंपल. पीपीएम क्या है? डिफेक्ट ना. सो वी आर कैलकुलेट डिफेक्ट. तो यहाँ पे क्या है? सो एलएसएल वाले, एलएसएल के बाहर वाले डिफेक्ट एंड यूएसएल वाले बाहर वाले डिफेक्ट. सो पीपीएम LSL ये कितने डिफेक्ट है एंड PPM USL. ओके, तो दोनों का ऐड करने का एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड PPM टोटल. गॉट इट? जस्ट टाइप यस इन द चैट बॉक्स. सुपर क्लियर एवरीबॉडी? किसका भेजा फ्राई हो गया आज? भेजा फ्राई. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू गॉट योर भेजा फ्राइड टुडे? Just type me in the chat box. Thank God we have got Minitab software. हाँ, पता चला Minitab software कितना मदद करता है हमें. ये सब कैलकुलेशन मैन्युअली करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now are you clear with this? Very interesting. Now you got all the clarity about what are each and every elements. Yes, can you just put all the formula जो मैंने दिया था, can you just put it in one document and share it with everybody now, right now? किसने किया था? Can you just calculate that quickly? ये फाइल है क्या? किसी ने शेयर किया है? संजीव जी, have you ओके, शांतनु जी ने शेयर किया है. ये फॉर्मूला ये है क्या?
ये सर पीपीटी सर.
ओके, प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी फॉर्मूला. तो मैं इसको ये करता हूँ, एक मिनट ना, डाउनलोड्स में शेयर करता हूँ, सेव करता हूँ. Superb guys, you can download this file and I will just let me check that file quickly. Wow, amazing, super, amazing work done guys, superb, superb. चलो, सभी फॉर्मूला को आपको कंपाइल किया हुआ है दोनों में. प्रोसेस कैपेबिलिटी वाला पीडीएफ भी अयान जी ने जो शेयर किया है वो भी. ओके, एंड पीपीटी भी, पीपीटी में भी किया है. ओके, प्लीज एक्सप्लेन 15264. ये है ना, मैं करता हूं एक्सप्लेन. ठीक है, सो कहां पे गया हमारा फॉर्मूला? तो 15264 इज नथिंग बट द एडिशन ऑफ पीपीएम एलएसएल जो कि लोअर स्पेसिफिकेशन से जो बाहर गया है, एंड पीपीएम यूएसएल विच इज अपर स्पेसिफिकेशन से बाहर गया है जो प्रोडक्ट, उसका टोटल है 15264. उसका एडिशन है वो. दैट्स इट. क्लियर? ओके, सिमिलरली वो भी विद इन का भी वही है. ठीक है ना? वाह, सुपर भेजा फ्राई. मजा आया कि नहीं? लेकिन हाँ, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रियली एंजॉयड इट? जस्ट टाइप मी इन द चैट बॉक्स. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रियली एंजॉयड इट? यस, सुदाम जी, ऑन योर व्हाट्सएप number, we have already shared that how to check the Minitab. Just check your WhatsApp right now. आपके WhatsApp में मिल जाएगा वो. ठीक है? Superb guys. Okay, a lot of people have done this. A lot of people have done this hard work. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because जब मैं Zoom पे होता हूँ ना तो पता नहीं वो डॉक्यूमेंट सेव होता है कि नहीं बैकएंड में. Lot of Minitab भी ओपन है, PPT भी ओपन है, lot of things are open. Okay, fantastic, super. So कोई क्वेश्चन है तो मुझे पूछिए, अगर नहीं है तो हम लोग क्लोज करते हैं because I don't want to fry your भेजा आगे. What is n minus 1? Okay, yeah, coming back to n minus 1. n minus 1 का मैं एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. Okay, ये n minus 1 क्या है? Let's try to understand this. Okay, it's called degree of freedom. कहाँ गया ये? अच्छा, मैंने ये ओपन किया क्या? ओके, क्या? सो लेट्स, व्हाट इज n minus 1? एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूं इसको. n minus 1 क्या है? इट इज कॉल्ड एज डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम. व्हाट इज डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम? Degree of freedom is nothing but, okay, now just let's try to understand, just simplified version by this. Okay, स्टैंडर्ड डिवीजन का फॉर्मूला क्या है? समेशन ऑफ xi minus x bar raised to square divided by n. Actually, this is the formula for the population. Write this down. This is the formula for population, and this is the formula n minus 1. This is the formula for sample. Now try to understand this. Everybody knows the concept of population and sample, right? So population is a huge data set and sample is a subset of the data set. Everybody knows this. So I'm answering the question of what is n minus 1. Why we are putting n minus 1? What is the logic behind it? Okay. So population is a big data set and sample is a small data set of it. Okay. Now when we take the standard deviation, variation of the population, it takes all the extreme values, the lowest से लेके highest तक value आ जाते हैं उसमें. Clear everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. Okay. In the population we get extreme values of it, but in the sample, okay, whatever is the values, extreme values, we get that much variation only. Okay. So if this is the overall variation, the sample is a subset of this. It may not contain huge variation. Okay. So when earlier they used to calculate n only, but after that there was a statistician called Frederick Bessels. Frederick Bessels, and this is called Bessel's correction. So Frederick Bessels, he was a statistician. He introduced this degree of freedom n minus 1, and he reduced the number of data set. Okay, so denominator कम होने के बाद the sample standard deviation basically a little bit increases, which can basically because it increases sample standard deviation, it is representing as population standard deviation, because sample standard deviation is small because we have got a very small data points, right? Okay. And population is very high. So sample standard deviation is not truly representing the population standard deviation. Okay. So to represent it better, Frederick Bessel has suggested this, this formula correction of n minus 1, which is nothing but the degree of freedom. And why minus 1 only and not minus 2, minus 3, etc. After a lot of deliberation on this, statisticians have finalized this n minus 1 as a degree of freedom formula, just to lower the formula of sample standard deviation, so that it can match up with the population standard deviation, which is the higher variation. Okay, so that is the actually simple explanation of degree of freedom. I will take another half an hour, 1 hour session on the degree of freedom that will even clarify this better. Okay, clear hai? Just type yes in the chat box. Degree of freedom. This is called degree of freedom, n minus 1. Whatever number of data are there, you have to reduce it. Okay. Yes, Sharma ji, you have any other question? Just your hand is raised. You can just unmute and ask the question if you have.
Sir, one question is there that you mentioned earlier, na, that G score is the minimum of GUSL and GLSL.
LSL, correct.
But when we calculate through formula, it is 0.9847. So what is this 0.9847 and GUSL and GLSL is different?
Just a second. Huh? I'm just going back to the data once again. So this one we were talking about, correct? Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, are you talking about overall or are you talking about within?
Yeah, overall.
Okay. Now, overall is, so that's what I said. So you are clear about ZLSL formula and ZUSL formula you're calculating.
Yes,
You're
yes,
okay,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
whichever value is lower, in this case, 2.37 is lower, right? So you can declare 2.37 is the current process capability.
Current process capability or G
Yes.
score.
So ZUSL in this case, so whichever is lower value of ZUSL and ZLSL, that can be your current process capability, which is our Z score. Correct? Clear? Okay.
Correct,
Now
correct.
there is another way of PPM wise, which is called Z bench, which the formula I've given 1 minus PPM divided by 1 million, right? That formula. In that, the Z bench value can be calculated. Some people show Z bench also as a process capability value. Okay. So this is your take. Which one you want to showcase? Okay. If you are showing Z bench in the measure phase when we calculate it first time, you have to after improvement also you have to calculate Z bench only, and you have to compare Z bench to Z bench, earlier Z bench and after Z bench. Okay. If you are showing Z score, which is the minimum of USL and LSL, okay, if you are showing that, then after improvement also you have to show that only. That is what I said. Clear?
Okay, but we in G score formula we calculate like 1 minus PPM total divided by 1 million.
That is Z bench, Z bench formula. That is a Z bench formula.
Okay, this is G bench, but you mentioned that it is not G bench, it is G score. At that time, you cut down the bench and mention the score.
So Z bench कहाँ से आता है? So Z score को लेके we go to the table, and from the table we get the Z bench value. You got my formula? You got my value? So the Z score, you're right. That's what I did. Let me just go back to the मैं वही open करता हूँ. This one, right? Remember
Yes,
Z
yes.
score, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
इसमें मैंने क्या बोला? We calculate this 1 minus PPM divided by 1 million, and
Yes.
whatever that value comes, no, we go to the table. That's what I said. Go to the standard Z table, and then you calculate the value of the Z bench. That is the value Z bench. That's what we did in the practical as well. Okay, you can just go back to the recording and just check this much of piece. That will give you the clarity.
Okay,
ठीक है?
okay, 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 okay. Thank you so much.
Super, super. चलो मजा आ गया मजा. चलो तो अभी फिलहाल रुकते हैं. If there is no question, I will stop. Okay. Tomorrow we have the live session of the yellow belt. If you want to, get 40% referral bonus, invite majority of your friends and get yourself, funded for your master black belt. जिन्होंने भी master black belt में नई एडमिशन लिया है, आपका फंडिंग चालू करो, ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को भेजो and get yourself, what you can say, funded. ठीक है? Clear everybody? Thank you very much. Okay, keep learning, keep growing.